Oh my gosh, we are live. Welcome to Easy to Read Deep Thoughts with my special guest, Dennis. This topic, holy cow, Dennis picked this one out, and yeah, like high five. This is a good one. I like thinking about this stuff. It was a joy to write this newsletter, and Dennis and I were just talking a little bit, kind of preparing before I hit the start button here, and oh my gosh, yeah. This I am pumped. This is going to be great. Actually, so I'm going to do a quick little introduction, and then we'll describe the structure of the show, and then we will dive right into it. My name is Jonathan Geyer. My first noteworthy note is I helped implement a health information exchange for the state of Minnesota, and that became the most successful HIE in America. In that opportunity, I was able to sit down and drink a cup of coffee with 30 some odd thousand veterans. That is a big deal. I bring it up every episode because it changed how I think. It changed my perspective. And this show is an output of that. My flamboyant hand throwing is an output of all these conversations. Noteworthy note two. I coach a boxing class locally. And when our class filled up, we started putting it, recording classes, putting it on YouTube. And that turned out to be a big deal. We just crossed 500,000 views a little bit ago. People from all around the world are reaching out and talking about my coaching style. Yep. Awesome. Dennis, could you introduce yourself?
Nice to meet you, Jonathan. Thank you for inviting me to the show. So I'm Dennis, 27. I'm based in London, and I provide for people joy in laughing by unique personal approach on LinkedIn or my newsletter. So I always try to make it more unique, fun, and helpful for everyone. And biggest things, I founded Wally Capital to provide people full of joy and love, and started my side activity help founders close their rounds and for investors to find right deals for them. And it's become more successful than I expected. So it just in a month we already received 600 followers on LinkedIn page and 600 followers on my newsletter. Basic things because I don't probably I'm a silly idiot because I don't charge any founders for that. I just don't see any point something to split if you don't have any make any money at first. But we already closed one round, and I don't sign in anything with these guys, but they just back to me and just give me money like for good relationships probably. Same way, do tech events in London. Help. Our last biggest event was in Google HQA. It was Web3 Demo Day. Thanks, Lorraine, to do it. Yeah, about a bit about me.
Yeah, awesome. Oh, I'd like to point it out. So Dennis and I, one of our first conversations, we were talking about Indiana Jones, the original three movies. So kudos. That's those movies are awesome. Perfect. Structure of the show. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to read this newsletter I wrote a paragraph at a time, and then we're going to discuss the context, or the context behind what I was thinking when I wrote this. I wrote this independently of Dennis, so he gave me the topic, and then I wrote the newsletter, and he just saw this for the first time just a little bit ago, and that is cool because it's possible what I wrote in here is way off, and I do that deliberately. So then Dennis is able to add context or correct or guide me to what he was thinking, and it's awesome. That's a genuine conversation. Alrighty, let's dive on into it. Since we're using a Google Doc here, can you click off so it's not all pink? I mean, it doesn't really matter, but
yeah, okay.
Whatever. We're good anyway. Roll with it. All right. This is a great, easy to read, deep thoughts episode. Uniqueness in AI. Holy cow, this really is a head scratcher too. And my special guest this week is Dennis. I didn't ask you how do you pronounce your last name?
It's Homin. You don't spell K, so it's
Homin. Sweet, cool. Knows this topic well. And I described the structure of the show here. In all easy to read deep thoughts episodes, I write a newsletter on the topic my guest picks without talking to my guests about it. I ask them to pick our topic for the week, and I write this newsletter independently because It's a setup for good conversation and our Friday LinkedIn Lives. Yeah. Uniqueness and personalization in the time of AI. Holy cow, I'm going to read this paragraph and then I'm going to set you up, or I'm going to ask you for your thoughts on it. But really, oh my gosh, this is one of the coolest topics. Personally, I would say this is one of the coolest topics I think anybody's ever picked. Like it is a deep topic. This is like meaning of life level deep. Like, what is it to be human? And then like that uniqueness part, like, yeah. Well, I'm gonna dive into it, but that in my mind, like, what is it to be human? Uniqueness and what it is to be human in my mind are the same thing. It's the same question. All right, I'm gonna read this paragraph. Uh, awesome topic choice. This head scratching is required. This could be the deepest of deep conversations, as in, at some point, everyone is working with the same tools within the same technological inputs will produce a similar output. It's not unique. Ironically, trying to use AI to make things unique will still follow the same process as others trying to make content using content unique with AI, not unique. And in there, I thought about that a little bit. Um, yeah. So if you ask ChatGPT to change the wording of an article to try to make it unique, and bypass any of those tests and the filters and whatnot. But if everybody's doing the same thing, it is still constrained within the same logic, the logic flow. Even with neural networks, that they're crazy, they're big, they're complex, but it's still got structure. Kind of like entropies. Entropy is big, crazy, complex, but it still has structure. And when I was thinking of this, like the structure might be beyond what we are consciously able to follow easily, but there's still structure. And that structure by default makes repeatability more probable, right? And humans don't have that structure. Our thoughts are not aligned by that, and the entropy flows backwards a little bit. So making and the thematic goal of the point I'm making here is AI's uniqueness is not unique because it's still AI, even though it's super crazy complex. It's still a predictable pattern, kind of like chess. Chess, you can have millions of moves out, but it's still defined by the 26, blocks. I think I believe it's 26. You know what I mean? Like you can have 10 million
Yeah.
moves, but it's still only 10 million moves and not, infinite or infinity. What's your thoughts on this?
Basically, you're absolutely right, because AI is in general machine learning. So AI can do everything that human learn it. And uh, if you remember, so Open AI just be launched in our lives like science last year. So it's
Yes,
full
sir.
year of life like AI. So at first, when it just be launched, like people become on the market and they told you how you still don't use it, you should try. Then people just started to use it more regularly, and like I guess it was like in the summer. In the summer, so if you check, I remember this time. So because I checked my feed on LinkedIn, and I saw how a lot of people saw the same way. It doesn't mean they like have sync between that. They just use ChatGPT and copy copy some big accounts, and they don't give you any value. They just told to you should chat, for example, like about if they talk about leadership, they told you should be nice manager, you should be kind to employee, and then employee give you like value. And it's same to I can be swearing or not. Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's totally crap when you read same thoughts different way explained by ChatGPT. You just wanna I know all people's different, and like maybe it's my chart, like my personality, because I always try do some creative or a bit changes, so it's make my mind personal. And like I remember in school, I never do homework, but I never skip like creative tasks. So it's probably just what followed me all my life. And Yeah, like not native on English, so for me, like I'm alright with, I'm totally fine with sense of humor, and I don't believe I'm silly guy, but yeah, I still have problem to um, play with words sometimes, because sometimes when you create joke on English, it complete doesn't make any
It
sense.
doesn't
So
go to it.
so yeah. So before I try like and learn different AI tools a lot to understand how it can help me, but it's not like my main tool. If you want something really unique, you can do it only yourself, really. I mean, for now, because as I already mentioned, it's only 1 year when OpenAI in our lives. And for now, I'm not sure I can replace ourselves totally, but it can happen in the future, because every day AI more and more smarter. It's same way. In same way, I just find one thing. So I interested in how a new generation be like use it like when they study, because basically AI can do everything for you. Like you just need one any question, and it's a few seconds you already have answer. But if we talk about new life, like a kid, it should be told, should be teached something new skill. So how AI can help us with that? Like we need someone, to share wisdom, share some thoughts, question, not just give you full answer.
Holy cow, that was I did not think about that before this conversation. Holy cow, the next generation. Right now, I'm picturing it like cell phones. When I grew up, cell phones weren't a thing. I was just talking with my daughter about this yesterday. We had pagers. I had to describe to her what a pager was. I said it's text messaging where you can
Yeah,
call.
I know what this
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. So she's grown up in a world where there's never not been phones, right? Like a phone, her brain, her life is integrated into having that phone. And your description just now, it popped. Yeah. The thought it's going to be that with the next generation, but ChatGTP, where they don't have to carry that mental load of a bunch of this processing because ChatGTP will just be the normal, kind of like cell phones. Like you don't have to worry about where you're going and being able to
Yeah.
talk to somebody, because this generation has never had to worry about that because they always have their phones, right? But my generation, you break down, you were stuck. Like that's yeah,
Yeah.
interesting. I didn't consider that. Hmm.
To be honest, I just saw about it because recently, sometimes in my feed, it's one professor from Harvard, and he always talk about his Alice and his point. Alice can help you, like thought with you, but she never give you full answer. And for now, when I started the speech, I mean, actually it makes sense, because if we wanna have strong generation in the future, we don't need they just have answer in a second, because it's our legacy. No, I mean not with you, but I mean it's we already created, but we need smartest people in the future, because it's still machine learning. We should teach machine if we want to make our lives easier. So
Yeah,
it's like
I
it's
oh,
like a AI assistant like ChatGPT or Grok or DeepSeek, but Alice, she didn't give you full answer. She started like like mentor. She started ask you different questions to push you to get answer yourself.
oh my gosh,
Yeah,
that's
I mean if you can
that's super.
imagine, if
That
you
just
can
kind of blew my
imagine.
mind a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for example, like if you can be imagine like Matrix or whatever, it's any VR tool, like you just VR and you go for any like I don't know what you prefer, word or it's maybe it must be university or whatever. So just if you can imagine, you move to any places and sit down just with altered people with you, like for example, for you introverted, like Steve Jobs, yeah, and you just sit in, like, talk to Steve Jobs about your what you would you like to learn. And this guy, like Steve Jobs, is famous person in history, and he don't give you answer on your questions. He just started talk to you like we today, and push you to yourself find answer.
To kind of guide you to come to that conclusion.
It's kind of how I saw it. So we can use it like mm, it's like we are tool and AI assistant who created unique um, like it's not atmosphere, maybe everything like commitment what give you answer to education, or it's like therapy or philosophy science. It's like can be education lesson, so it can be literally everything.
Yeah. So I'm active listening here, but ideas are popping into my head and I'm trying to suppress them. But this one still came out. So I'm into Six Sigma. I'm a Six Sigma black belt through ASQ. And was it theory of constraints? I don't remember. But bottlenecks. Like what is the bottleneck? If you take out yeah, I'm picturing what you're describing. Like I picture the interface between the Steve Jobs avatar, or where you just described in the human being, like the human being can process all sorts of stuff, and AI can do all that or whatever. The constraint, the part in the middle, is the communication, or like how do the transfer of the information is the bottleneck. It's not so much the processing itself. Right now, our brains have crazy amount of processing power. AI has
Yeah,
a crazy amount of processing power, but transferring that information from one source to the next, it's got to get shrunk down to just words. Words are actually the limitation in learning now. It's not you know what I mean? Because
yeah,
that's you take this awesome thing and it's got to be condensed where you can use words to convey it, and that's super interesting. That is the bottleneck. As AI gets better, and our brains are already awesome. Our brains are better than the communication, right? So that
yeah.
words are already the limitation. Huh. I'm thinking and talking here. That's yeah, interesting. I wonder I wonder what the solution to that bottleneck would be. Like how do you transfer information at a faster rate to
uh
human beings,
Actually, I guess it's no secret pills or whatever. We just like everyone. It's our generation and next generation. We just can barely to read something for us. It we how many books are you reading during the year?
At least once a week, one a week.
Uh, yeah, but okay, it's it's very bad example. So basically, I read when I fly somewhere, so I have only time when I completely cut my social media and
That's what I do.
have.
I don't watch TV. I don't. I don't do anything. It's just reading. Yeah.
I also don't watch TV, don't play games. I just don't have time during my
Yeah.
events
Yeah.
activity, work. So yeah, and most people we just not really barely can read. And in same like example on LinkedIn, if
Oh,
you
good
see
call. Yeah.
long posts, you just put like thanks for sharing and just go to next post. You're
Yep.
not
Yep.
yeah, at first it's you if you can see already, probably it's right by ChatGPT about, yes, it's so people at first attractive by pictures whatever. So if they share, like if someone posted events or you know absurd of some news, and yeah, so it's make more attractive news, so it's something personal. So someone like maybe famous or not, they just visit event and you want to be in his network or be visible for him. So you started to write more personal comments. But if you just, it's boring post about motivated quotes from billboard building, you just, with long text, you just skip it, put like, and go for next post. So it doesn't give you any value, because everyone can open Perplexity or Google and Google this quotas. I don't need to see it in my feed, so it looks completely boring. So you need some like aggressive, attractive hook to stop your readers on your LinkedIn page and understand. So in 2 months or less 2 months, I have 10,000 visitors on my LinkedIn page, just because I completely make rebranding for myself. Before, I also tried make my LinkedIn personal. I still try make my posts unique, but keep it very professional, and people don't really care about it. So I just changed it. I just create one meme, and after that it just completely changed like way how I posted, because this I was surprised that one meme have more impressions than my like seriously helps post how founders should raise money, or what can help them, or how should build pitch deck. So, and I spend a lot of time to do this research, my personal research, and give real advice. And when I saw
your posts are awesome. I would like to say that publicly. Your posts are great. I highly recommend everybody watching this follow them.
Thank you. Yeah, but it's probably last month when I completely changed it. So for now, I do satire and write a lot of. It's still serious stuff, and all situation is real, but I explain it still in my way. On my LinkedIn page, I play evil VC guy with big ego, so I hate everyone, just don't be scary. And my page looks like completely meme, so some rich people like investors in London still don't get it, and they just block me. It's still fun. But but every event what I attract already, so I find my reader on during event, and I never meet these people before, but basically ecosystem in London is pretty small, and it's very nice to meet one. And like yesterday, I just start conversation with one investor about startups and what he's looking about, like just networking. And during our conversation, come to me one my reader and start and talk about Volley, and I already a bit introduced Volley Capital to this guy, and he just stopped staring at me like, what? So this guy just small, like just ma'am. I mean, yeah. And I guess I really believe I have so how I told you in my model, it's my side activity. It's not the way they do full-time job. So I just want to help founders. If I have opportunity, of course, I'm not sitting all day and not looking opportunity for them. But if I meet someone like investors and
connecting the dots,
it's be a right fit for them. So it's cost me nothing to show their deck. So it's I wondering it's all founders before they sent me their deck. And so I believe I have better deal flows than some small VCs as well, because it's just I'm
it's more natural. It's not forced, right? Like it's
I do it for fun. Like I launched my basically my newsletter and my rebranding because I love provide for people joy and laughing. It's not my main reason make money on that, and just
it's fun. At the start there, you mentioned an awesome point. Another point I didn't consider. Holy cow, you're killing it. This is great. The psychological, I spoke to language itself being the constraint, the bottleneck that, I'm still picturing it like theory of constraints. When you were describing, I don't know, I pictured the human psychology as being the bottleneck, not, or Well, so the words themselves, like the mechanics of words, the mechanics of language, that was the bottleneck. That's what I was speaking to. You just pointed out, you added another layer on top of that, the human psychology itself. On my whiteboard somewhere over here, I have written a reminder to myself to include a hook in my messaging within the first 10 seconds when the audience attention's at its peak. You just spoke to that too. And as yeah, yeah, that actually would be the constraint, because with the like you were saying, with the long form, with long descriptions, people are just going to check out, right? Like, so language doesn't matter if they're not there to hear it. So actually, I think your point is actually, yeah, the psychology would be the prime bottleneck. It'd be bottleneck A, and then the language that I was talking about, that'd be bottleneck B, because the psychology, it trumps the.
Yeah,
Yeah, super interesting. Cool.
actually, psychology it's another completely another topic in marketing because it's everywhere. If you non did you have you ever attract your attention in a bakery area in supermarket? It's usually created, in warm, hot, like lights, because it's a remind to us psychology to homemade bakery, like when you granny
The
or
stuff on the end of
yeah,
the shelves.
yes.
Yeah.
So it's still brands like play on our psychology, emotions. So it's everywhere. If like same with colors and. When you if very shortly when you write posts or letter whatever, so usually how people see, they just like book like a literal F. So at first you look this way, then this way, and then just only this point. So you should always keep information, like people just open this letter and just it's like bullet points. You first look there, and in the in a in the bottom.
Yeah. I lost my following thought on that. Uh, interesting, interesting. And to tie our last couple of thoughts back together, like yeah, the uniqueness in AI. No, maybe I'm I'm losing it. Uh,
Yeah, base if you would like uniqueness in AI, you just don't need copy someone content punkt and chat GPT and like ask rewrite it, or just because basically it's can do everyone, and it's already done by everyone, and it's boring and anyone don't read it. So and
5,000 emojis.
yeah, biggest challenge with ChatGPT. So I more enjoy when I read posts with mistakes, because I totally know this is written by human, or it's more percentage by written by human.
That's what I'm
And
doing too. Like I'm minimizing my corrections. Like I'm leaving in the bad grammar on
yeah, I
purpose.
mean,
Yeah.
I just I already thought maybe we need a tool what be do mistake for us, like just
Oh,
yeah. I mean it's
$1 million
been
idea.
I mean, it's be short, popular tool, but for another half year. But if someone do it, can it's make real money for? I mean, not too much, but it can work because it still give some unique value for people. So and with all AI tools, it's another thing. So they can't be rude. They always try be polite, like kind. I mean, and you see how it sounds
Cheesy. Yeah.
unnatural completely, and yeah. So I just started. I probably most kind person in the world, or I believe in it. So like I be volunteer in the world, so I try save people as much I can, and now when I play evil with a guy on LinkedIn, it's in comment area in my posts. It's probably one thing what I do in bad way. So because basically I never can pass by someone problems like this, like if not justice on the street, or some like bullying someone, or yeah. So I always try help people. It's basically what I started to do with founders. I just wanna help them closer around if I have opportunity for them, but it's
Which
not.
is the origin to like the best businesses, right? Like that's
It's not my business yet, so it's basically, yeah. It's, to be honest, Volley Capital just launched by joke. It's like one meme. It would become in a month more than just meme. So, oh yeah, and just started. Probably need to talk more about it because it's already have good result. Like,
I like reading your content, which is the origin to us having this conversation right now. I think you're doing awesome. It's great. Yeah. You caught my interest. Yeah. Oh my gosh, we are at time here. We didn't read most of this newsletter, but I'm going to post this on Wednesday, and then yeah. Um, oh my gosh, something I like to do as a closing thought here. I'm going to ask you, come up with our closing thought. What do you want the audience to take away from this conversation? What do you think is the most important thing viewers here should be thinking when we end this episode?
like my probably life rules. So you still can make business. You still can make business, make money, and left legacy by kindness and keep sense of humor. You don't need to be completely skeptic or a conservative guy to be a nice person. It doesn't matter where you now and where you want it to be. It's just always follow your dream and yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was a good one. Holy cow, Des, this was a great conversation. Awesome. Thank you for coming on. Anything you'd like to plug? Anything you'd like to promote here in our last little moment?
Just find me Volley Capital Dennis. It's just probably I don't need plug anything. If someone really interested in our conversation and would you like see what I do, so always welcome. If not, it's just my content not for you. So I completely understand. It's not just what yeah.
I'm going to plug Dennis. I like Dennis. I think our audience should reach out to him. Great guy. Yeah.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Awesome. Okay.